Good evening to you all and welcome to the English News Bulletin here on Rwanda Television. I hope you had a good Monday. We'll begin with the headlines. Former members of the FDLR who managed to escape from it affirmed that the primary objective since its launch has been to destabilize Rwanda's security and target the Tutsi population. A two-day conference will start in Kigali on Tuesday, gathering approximately 200 participants from various countries, all experts in the field of justice, to collaboratively address the challenges facing the justice system. On the international scene in Central California, it is harvesting season for strawberries and citrus fruits, but some farm workers who aren't legal U.S. residents are staying away from the work. My name is Olive Nathan. It's always a pleasure to have you with us in today's edition. And as we kick off this edition, former members of the FDLR who managed to escape from it affirmed that the primary objective since its launch has been to destabilize Rwanda's security and target the Tutsi population, continuing the genocidal agenda they initiated in Rwanda. Adam Skizera has more on this.
The FDLR, a genocidal militia group formed nearly 30 years ago by perpetrators of the genocide against Tutsi, has continued to operate under a genocidal ideology. This is based from the threat it has posed to Rwanda since the insurgents period, carrying out attacks in various parts of western and northern Rwanda. Hakizimana Jean Bosco, a former FDLR fighter since its inception, states that the group's objective was to destabilize Rwanda's security and continue the genocide agenda they initiated in Rwanda. In 1997, during the insurgents, they witnessed many things aimed at destabilizing Rwanda's security. However, it went beyond that, as their actions also targeted the mindset of their members. Some of them no longer have the love of their own country because of what they entailed. Bahati, who spent over 18 years in the FDLR, noted that the genocidal militia has evolved beyond being just a terrorist group and became an entity deeply rooted in genocidal ideology and divisionism. He asserts that this is evident in how they indoctrinate their descendants from a young age. In their perspective, they do not consider themselves as a terrorist group. Instead, they teach their members that they are fighting for their cause, for overthrowing the Tutsi kingdom that they claim ruled them over 400 years. They believe that being in the jungle is part of their struggle to eliminate the Tutsi and reclaim their country, because they view Tutsi not as Rwandans, but as outsiders. From the Kirimanyuka training camp, these fighters were indoctrinated with genocide ideology and given clear instructions that their mission was to attack Rwanda. During our training with the FDLR, we were told that the time would come to capture Rwanda. We were instructed that after fighting M23, the next move would be to take control of Rwanda. In 1994, perpetrators of the genocide against Tutsi who fled to DRC continued their agenda of targeting and killing Tutsi, forcing many to seek refuge in neighboring countries, including Rwanda.
We discovered that some people were following us, trying to kill us. We took the route from Minova to Mugunga, where we encountered the FDLR, those who had fled Rwanda after perpetrating the genocide against the Tutsi. They attempted to kill us, but eventually fled to Goma, and from there they reached Gisenyi.
During a press conference in January this year, President Paul Kagame stated that the continued existence of the FDLR remains a major obstacle to peace and security of the region.
We told these people, whoever was involved, that we've started with DRC itself, even before the current administration in DRC. We used to approach these people. We even approached the current administration. We said, let's work together to resolve this problem. and that we will support you with whatever you think you need, and we will avail ourselves and our resources to actually help you fight this FDLR and eliminate it from. And they refused. I had even given them advice that, you see, Uganda has a problem of ADF and others based in Congo. We have a problem of FDLR based in Congo. Burundi also says they have a problem based in Congo. I said, why can't we, all of us, work together? Uganda works with the DRC, Rwanda works with the DRC, Burundi works with the DRC to eliminate the threat to security along our borders. I suggested to them, to the current administration, in 2019. Now, what they did, they allowed Uganda to go and to send in their troops to go and fight the ADF. They allowed into DRC to fight whichever their groups they are fighting are. When it came to Rwanda, they refused. Of course, that means something. They refused because either on their own or on the advice by whoever, they actually didn't want this problem of FDLR addressed.
The FDLR has carried out several attacks on Rwanda over the years, including the September 2019 assault that killed 14 residents in Kinigi, Musanze district. There have been additional attacks since its coalition with the government forces FARDC and other militia groups including Wazalendo. The most recent attack occurred when the DRC coalition forces shot and fired into Rubavu, killing 16 local residents. Adams Kwizera, RTV News.
Thank you, Adams, for the detailed report. Now moving ahead, on Monday, approximately 400 Congolese nationals who had sought refuge in Rwanda following the eruption of fights in Bukavu, South Kivu province, returned to their homeland via the Rusizi-1 border crossing. They decided to return after receiving information that Bukavu was now secure and under the control of the AFC M23 rebel group. So more news, a two-day conference will start in Kigali on Tuesday, gathering approximately 200 participants from various countries, all experts in the field of justice, to collaboratively address the challenges facing the justice systems. The conference, organized by the East African Community Court of Justice, will primarily involve representatives from the EAC member states, and during a press briefing today at the High Court, Honorable Justice Nestor Kayobera, President of the EACG, highlighted that over the past 23 years, the court has adjudicated more than 860 cases, including those where individuals have sued states, states have sued other states, and states have brought cases against individuals. Currently, the court has over 200 pending cases. From February 24th to March 13th, the court will undertake a series of activities, including hearing cases, offering training to judicial practitioners, and facilitating the exchange of experiences with members of the East African community, all aimed at enhancing the delivery of justice.
Invited lawyers and practitioners from the 8 partner states. The ministers are coming. The attorneys general from the partner states are coming. The legal practitioners are coming. All the courts are here. It means the judges and the staff of the court. We have closed the door in Arusha. Now we have moved from Arusha to Kigali, so we'll be here. From today up to 13th of March, we shall be here. So after the conference, we will organize, we will be also having our strategy plan meeting, when we will be adopting and validating the strategic plan of our court for 5 years. That means on 20 to 22nd. After the planning, the strategic planning meeting, we shall hold our court session from 24th to 7th of March. We shall be here. We shall be here in our session, and we shall be sitting in the matters which only, those are not matters which involve the Rwanda government. Those are the matters which involve all the partner states of the region. It means that we will be having almost 10 cases from the First State Division and 9 cases from appellate. We shall also deliver a number of judgments, including one of judgment from this republic. On 28th of this February, we shall deliver a judgment from the appellate division of this court. A judgment by the appellate division, it is final and conclusive. And after our court session, we shall hold also another very important meeting. We shall hold a training of judges. It means on 10th to 12th, we shall be organizing a training here in Kigali on cyber criminality here in Kigali. And then on the 13th, we shall have a bar bench meeting where the judges and the lawyers will meet and discuss the matters that concern our businesses. So it means that we shall be here we are here from today, and we shall be here up to 13th or 14th of March 2025. All the judges are here. So tomorrow we are having our first day of our conference, and we have a number of presentations which will be presented by very experts, including the judges from this country and the judges from all the partner states. This court is the court of the people, because the people under the treaty, under Article 8 of the treaty, the community is the people-centered. So whatever we do, the people is at the center of the community. I was saying that access this court is free of charge, does not require any fee. That's one. Secondly, access this court does not require exhausting of local remedies. And the third, I was saying that this court, you must access this court within only 2 months. 2 months. You don't wait for 2 years or 10 years and come to the court. It means that the time required to access this court is only 60 days. That's third. But fourth, I was saying that this court is the court of the people. This conference is very important, because at the end of the day, when the people understand the jurisdiction of this court, unnecessary questions, unnecessary cases will not be filed to this court. And the last thing I was saying that we have not come here to campaign for the people to file matters against the Republic of Rwanda. That is our purpose. Our purpose is that we have come here to make sure that the people understand the role of this court and the duty of this court. That was the question.
To more news, members of the parliament have commenced an in-depth review of the draft law on health services reforms in Rwanda. The first day of discussions with the Ministry of Health was marked by extensive debates, particularly on 2 key issues: the regulation of surrogacy and the provision of full access to family planning services for adolescents. Let's take a look at the details.
The bill introduces new provisions, including guidelines on how a woman, together with her partner, can opt for surrogacy if they are unable to conceive naturally. Another key provision aims to facilitate easy access to family planning services for adolescents. Members of the parliament emphasized the need for thorough consideration of both proposals.
I believe hospitals should provide surrogacy services directly for those seeking a surrogate mother. This would help assure a more structured and professional approach, reducing potential societal challenges. For example, if surrogacy is arranged informally, the child might later face emotional distress if the surrogate mother reveals her role in their birth, making them feel different from others.
If we say that a 15-year-old child can make decisions on their own, but then state that only those who are married are allowed to apply for surrogacy or use reproductive technologies, isn't there a contradiction? It makes me wonder why we treat 15-year-olds as adults in some contexts, yet they are still under the guidance of their parents. They still rely on their parents' support and advice, even when making decisions like what to study. Parents continue to play a key role in many of their decisions. I believe that we should enforce this so that children and parents can follow up on these issues, as it is a significant matter of our society. However, Saying that a child must make decisions without the parents' knowledge is too risky for me. Additionally, regarding surrogacy, if we allow children of 15 years to access contraceptives, they may end up making irreversible decisions, like having their uterus removed, knowing they can rely on surrogate mothers. In the future, they might face issues with their partners and may opt for surrogacy. But what kind of environment will that child grow up in? This is why we should enforce the protection of the family. The issue arises with allowing children to get contraceptives, whether it's pills, injections, or other methods, while they are still young. If we carefully analyze the reality of life, we know many adults who face issues with contraceptives. I believe that for 15-year-old kids, we should revise what kind of service we provide to them. Regarding surrogacy, Minister of Health Dr. Sabian Sanzimana stated that the process will be conducted in accordance with established medical standards and ethical guidelines.
Just like the procedure for kidney transplants, you may remember the draft law on organ donation, which sparked similar debates due to concerns that people might exploit it for business. This is similar, and we carefully analyze it in this committee to find a better way to conduct it, ensuring it doesn't lead to abuses. We also told those who are in need. Many of them are already on the waiting list, waiting for this law to be approved, so they can proceed. We can use this as a sample and determine who we truly want to help by enabling this law in Rwanda.
Regarding adolescent access to family planning, the June 2024 law governing people and families stipulates that these services are available only to those aged 18 and above. However, the Minister of Health emphasized the need for a special provision, citing reasons such as the need to reduce teenage pregnancies. The Ministry of Health also states that its law on medical expertise is outdated due to rapid advancements in medical technology, necessitating its revision.
Now to Rwanda's tourism sector. Investors in Rwanda's tourism sector affirm their readiness to participate in 15 exhibitions scheduled to take place around the world this year to encourage attendees to visit Rwanda. This is as the 17th February marks the Global Tourism Resilience Day. Prince Manzi has more on this.
The Global Tourism Resilience Day finds professionals in this sector in Rwanda indicating that it is progressing compared to previous years.
So when you're talking about the Global Tourism Resilience Day in Rwanda, you have to focus on domestic tourism, basically, because domestic tourism is where the locals are actively involved in touring their country, looking at the nature, the culture, etc. So if you look in Rwanda, there's a progress. There's a progress from what people know us about the gorillas, but now people also start to come to Rwanda to look at the culture, the history. It's kind of a collectiveness of so many things.
In 2023, Rwanda registered 1.4 million international visitors, ranking 9th in the continent. This is nearly 180% higher than the number recorded in 2021. Some praise the sector's role in employing many.
Tourism is my first love. Tourism has sustained my entire life, and it shows me the ability that I can. As Judith Safaris, we support a girl child, and as we all know, women were very rare in this tourism industry. But as we talk now, women now stand, they survive, put food on the plates because of tourism. Me too.
Psychologically and physiologically, it's more important. You can see here there is more species of plants. Some they can be medicine, traditional medicine. When you smell like the smell from all those plants, it can help you like to cure different like diseases. And the people they come, they take here to take the time to rest, because it's a nice place for reducing like the stress.
In addition, in 2023, the country generated $620 million in revenue from tourism.
They are really cool, so beautiful, and I love them. I'm from Spain, and they are not in Spain, so it's fantastic to see the creators here in Rwanda. It's a good idea because it's important to solve them, to save them. It's an important mission.
The Chamber of Tourism Rwanda published Rwanda Tourism Guide 2024 to be used in attending 15th International Tourism Exhibition. Its Chief Executive Officer, Yup Nyenzi, elaborates more on this guide.
All those exhibitions will help us to promote tourism to the businesses and agents that sell tourism in those countries, but also promote the country in general to potential consumers and potential tourists that will visit our destination. So we are very optimistic for this year, and we hope that this year also will be a very good year for tourism. We are publishing a magazine and a pocket guide. All of those are materials that will support our promotion, both locally and internationally, to potential tourists, showing them the services that we offer, the hotels where they can stay, the tour operators that can support them in terms of showcasing the destination, but also in generally showing the attractions and the new attractions that we have on board this year in Rwanda.
1.4 billion international tourist arrivals recorded globally in 2024. Tourism drives economies, cultures and connections, making up about 10% of the global economy. Prince Manzi, RwandaTV News. Prince Manzi, reporting for radio.
Thank you, Prince, for the details. Now, the RwandaTV board is set to launch an initiative that will support students with technological projects capable of improving the lives of citizens. Enora Gladys has more on this.
A group of 3 young men who completed their studies at Apekitumba TSS School in Rwanda district have developed a project called the Automatic Irrigation System, which has a program that listens to the land and automatically waters it when needed. Jean de la Tuyishime is one of those who developed this project.
We brought various equipments, including sprinklers, to distribute water across the fields, sensors to measure soil humidity, which serves as a central unit of the system. Additionally, we used a machine to assist in programming the system's central unit.
His colleagues who worked on the project with him believe that if it is followed through, it could yield great results.
We believe our project is viable and has potential to address many challenges in our society, particularly for farmers. We request the government's support to expand the project nationwide, helping farmers tackle issues related to climate change, improve productivity, achieve self-sufficiency, and increase their capacity to sell on international markets.
Jean-Paul Munyakazi, the CEO of Imbaraga Farmers and Livestock Association in Rwanda, believes that such projects could provide solutions to the challenges facing agriculture in Rwanda.
First of all, it is important to support the idea, as doing so can lead to a large and sustainable projects. For example, if the government supports an initiative focused on irrigation, it would address a critical issue in our country, given our climate. Additionally, agriculture that is solely based on the climate is not sustainable. Therefore, these projects should be supported from the ground up in the national budget.
Paul Mokunzi, the CEO of RwandaTV board, has announced that a center will be established to support students working on innovative projects like these. In Rwanda district, a group of young people with training in computer programming has developed a project that monitors soil moisture levels and automatically manages irrigation. While these students are a small group, their work stands out compared to many others whose projects often end with merely receiving grades.
utekereza ko guhora wiziganya n'umushu aribyo birenze natwe niko tubibona ubona ntacyakurutira kugaragaza impano yawe niko bimeze.
So guys, uyu munsi tugiye kuganira ku gaseke. Agaseke njye gafite byinshi kamari. Ese wowe kakumari iki?
Manudi. Halo Manudi, niba icyo uri kunkura mu kazi?
Rero mabusha byahiye kandi noneho bimeze neza cyane. Ukuntu biri no guhumura.
Ako Manudi, urumva nakumva ko ibiryo bihumura koko?
Ubona ntacyakurutira umwuga wawe. Erega natwe niko tubibona, dushyigikiye buri kimwe agaciro mu buzima bwawe na irekure nshya. Buri wese arahishiwe, wikwisondeka. Kanda akanyenyeri 140 urwego uhitemo agaseke kawe ka packs zo guhamagara, cyangwa akanyenyeri 345 urwego uhitemo bando za internet uryoherwe n'umuvuduko wa 4G.
Welcome back to Matters Making Headlines globally. In Central California, it is harvesting season for strawberries and citrus fruits, but some farm workers who aren't legal U.S. residents are staying away from work following migrant roundups that are part of President Donald Trump's crackdown on illegal immigration. VOA has more on this.
Alejandra is an undocumented farm worker in California who does not want to show her face or share her last name for fear of deportation. She says she was on her way to work earlier this year when agents from Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE, started rounding up undocumented migrants around the city of Bakersfield.
That was on Tuesday when they started the raids. And on Wednesday, we didn't go out because we were scared. We heard and saw the whole day that ICE was being very active. They were in the key places where all the farm workers have to go through, where the citrus groves are. So the next day, I didn't go to work because I was scared.
United Farm Workers Union President Teresa Romero says 2 of their members were detained.
The farm workers that were deported have been here working for 15, 20 years. They don't even have a parking ticket. They were stopped in the street. It's not that they had a warrant against a specific person. They were just stopped by unmarked vehicles going home from work.
While the Trump administration says these first migrant roundups will focus on suspected criminals, U.S. border czar Tom Homan says it is only the beginning.
As the aperture opens up beyond criminals, you're going to see more arrests. I made it clear, if you're in the country legally, you're not off the table.
In Bakersfield, resident James Miller says deportations may create a shortage of field workers here, but immigration agents must enforce the law.
I think it's misleading when it was interpreted that they were going to raid the schools. So they have a job to do, and they should do it. Is it going to impact us? Probably so.
Another resident, J.P. Avalos, says the economic impact here may be significant.
We'll see 2-3 months time when the Latinos and you guys, when this happens and they kick them out, let's see what your food costs are and what you guys got to do to get that, you know?
Neighboring Ventura County has also seen immigration enforcement raids under the new administration. More than 80% of field harvesters here are undocumented migrants, according to estimates by the nonprofit Farm Bureau of Ventura County. Maureen McGuire is the Bureau's CEO.
If we have mass deportation and we lose the labor force that harvests, there will be a lower supply of food for those individual commodities that are affected, and then the grocery stores will be in competition for who gets that limited resource. That will drive the prices up.
Alejandra says she went back to work picking carrots a few days after the roundups, but is keeping herself and her U.S.-born son out of public places in hopes of avoiding immigration agents. Jenya Dulo, VOA News, Bakersfield, California.
The story brings us to the end of tonight's bulletin, but before we leave, a reminder of the top stories that made the edition. Former members of the FDLR who managed to escape from it affirmed that the primary objective since its launch has been to destabilize Rwanda's security and target the Tutsi population. A two-day conference will start in Kigali on Tuesday, gathering approximately 200 participants from various countries, all experts in the field of justice, to collaboratively address the challenges facing the justice systems. On the international scene in Central California, it is harvesting season for strawberries and citrus fruits, but some farm workers who aren't legal U.S. residents are staying away from work. And that marks the end of tonight's bulletin. Thank you for joining us. On behalf of the entire news team, we wish you a productive week ahead. Stay safe and take care of yourselves.